Okay, my name is Carlton Cartwright. I'm the Executive Director for the Children's Coalition Incorporated, and we are here today at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center in West Palm Beach. And today is December 28th, 2012, and we are here interviewing a young lady by the name of?
Sophia Webb.
Okay. All right, Miss Webb, and what is your date of birth?
8564.
Okay. And where were you born?
I was born in Port of Spain, Trinidad.
Okay. Okay, and were you drafted or did you enlist?
I enlisted.
In what branch?
The Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. And watch out, she knows how to use a gun. Where were you living at the time?
I was living in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. And why did you pick that service branch?
It was actually a fluke. My best friend and I went to high school together, and we rode the subways home. Mm-hmm. And she was joining the Air Force and needed to go to the Air Force recruiter after school, and I went with her. And on the way to the recruiter's office, we had to walk by a Marine recruiter. And he called us in, showed us a film, and the rest was history.
Okay.
So she never made it to the Air Force, and I had planned to go to college, and I never.
So the both of you went in the Marines?
Both of us did.
Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. So after you signed the paperwork, what ensued? What was the next thing that happened? Where did you go for basic training?
Well, all the women go to Paris Island. I went to Paris Island for boot camp in October of 1982.
Right.
And graduated in December 1982.
Okay. You went in when?
October.
October. So 3 months. Basic training?
Yes.
Okay. And what was that like?
It wasn't fun.
Wasn't the Air Force?
No, it wasn't fun. It was an experience.
Okay.
It challenged you mentally, physically, but I think I was a better person for it.
Okay. All right. Tell me about it. What were your instructors like?
Well, we had women Marine boot camp is separate from the men, so
right.
You're only dealing with women drill instructors. They were tough. They were tough. You know, we had a platoon that started off maybe with 90 women from all different parts of the country,
right.
City, rural, farms. And so what the drill instructors really have to do is to break everybody down so that you don't have those differences, and then build you back up as a Marine. And so it was challenging. You have different attitudes and upbringings and backgrounds, and really just getting to that point of where you just see yourself just as you do the other person.
Right.
You don't see color, you don't see, backgrounds, you just see a Marine.
Right.
So part of that was challenging, not so much for me, but the physical part. I mean, you go in and you don't know that your body can do something, but then you're doing it.
Right.
So that part was a little tougher, but more mental. I think the Marine Corps is a little bit tougher than all of the other branches.
Okay.
So mentally, it was a challenge.
Right. Okay, I'm not going to dispute. I was in the Air Force. I understand. I understand. Yeah. So, at any rate, let's see. Where are we? What were you doing just prior to coming into the service?
I was in high school. I was going to a high school in New York, the fashion industry, high school of fashion industry. So I was studying to be a fashion designer. Okay. And my goal was to graduate and go to college, the Fashion Institute of Technology, which is a big school in New York.
Yeah.
And so that all went to the wayside when I joined the Marines.
Okay. All right. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
And why did you do this? Why did I join the Marines?
Why
did you join the Marines, and why did you come into the service? Why?
Okay. Again, my best friend and I went to the recruiter. He showed us a film. It looked like fun. It was exciting. It looked exciting. My background, my dad, I was the oldest daughter. My dad was very strict. My best friend's mom was very strict.
Right.
And so we thought, wow, this is the best way to like leave home and go out on your own and, you know.
See the world.
It was a spur of the moment.
Gotcha. Spontaneous, huh?
Very spontaneous.
Okay, no. All right. Did you see any combat?
I didn't. After I graduated from boot camp, I went to personnel administration school. So I was human resources. Back in 1982, I joined my first duty station. I was in Hawaii, and there were really no combat operations at that time.
Right.
The only thing I was involved with was Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm.
Right.
But I was at the rear, so I didn't actually deploy. My field, we weren't needed, so I didn't see any combat.
Okay, let's go back for a minute. So after basic training, how long was that?
3 months.
And where were you? Paris?
I was at Paris Island. I left Paris Island, and I went to personnel school, which was at Camp Johnson,
Where's that?
North Carolina.
Okay. How long?
That was probably about 3 months.
Okay, 12 weeks?
12 weeks. So I left there and I got transferred to Hawaii in April of 1983.
Okay.
And I was there from 1983 to 1986.
Okay. In Hawaii?
In Hawaii.
Right.
Marine Corps Air Station, Kaneohe Bay.
Couple of housekeeping questions, so to speak.
Okay.
How was the food up to this point?
Food was good.
And did you have everything you needed as far as, regular supplies?
Everything.
Had everything you needed? Okay, so your instructors in tech school, so to speak, for your MOS, how were they?
They were good. It was a different atmosphere than boot camp. I mean, at this point, you're not under that structure.
Right.
And so they made it lighter. It was much lighter. I mean,
okay.
They're really just trying to get you to be, knowledgeable in your field.
Right.
It was enjoyable. They made it fun.
Okay. So now you're in Hawaii.
I'm in Hawaii.
Okay. And how was the food in Hawaii?
The food was great. The food, I never had a complaint about the
okay, food, good food all the way through.
Pretty much.
I got you. So what was now you're in personnel, human resources in Hawaii?
Yes.
And, how was that job?
That job was good. I worked in headquarters and headquarters squadron for the air station. And I was a service record book clerk that handled all the records for all the Marines in that unit.
Okay. How large was the unit?
I really don't remember.
A couple hundred?
A couple hundred,
okay.
Probably.
Okay, so you were there for 3 years.
I was there for 3 years.
Were there any casualties, any service-related injuries on your part, or anybody else's? Or
not at that point.
Anybody get hurt?
Not at that point.
Not at that point?
I mean, later on in my career, I came across that.
So after that 3 years, where did you go?
After those 3 years, I came back to Camp Pendleton, California, which is in Oceanside.
Right.
I was with Marine Corps Base, Camp Pendleton, still doing personnel. And I was there for about 1.5 years. After that, I went to Okinawa, Japan. I was with Marine Corps 1st Marine Aircraft Wing, Okinawa, for a year.
I'm interested to know, how did you stay in touch with your family?
Back then, this was before email.
So you read write?
Yeah, write, mainly write.
Was your father still talking to you after you ran away to the military?
Yeah, he was. He was. They weren't really upset. I think at first when I told them that I was interested, they thought, oh, she's not gonna pursue it. And I guess when they realized that I did it, it was really nothing much more that they could do but just support me.
Okay. You have any siblings?
I have 2 younger sisters.
Okay.
Neither one of them joined.
Okay.
Just me.
All right. Okay, so you didn't
influence any of them.
Gotcha. or tear up the family
Yeah.
seam, so to speak, and no breakage. Good,
Right.
excellent. All right, don't you come back here? No, I'm only kidding. Okay. I got your current address, right? And your
Yes.
birthday. I got that out of the way. Okay. So, what was your rank when you separated?
I was an E7 gunnery sergeant.
Wow. Okay. All right. And okay, let's see. Did you see any combat?
I didn't.
So after, let me see. We went to a wide and we went back to Camp Pendleton.
Camp Pendleton.
And hold on. And then okay. And after Camp Pendleton, how long were you there?
I was at Camp Pendleton about a year and a half, and I went to Okinawa for a year.
Did you go on leave? What'd you do when you went on leave up to this point? Where'd you go?
Usually I would go back to New York.
Go home?
Yeah, go home to New York.
And visit? Okay, make sure you still had a home there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Okay, so Okinawa, how long were you there?
I was there 1 year. After Okinawa, I returned I went to the Marine Corps Air Station El Toro, which is in Orange County, California.
After Okinawa?
After Okinawa. And still doing personnel. I was there from 1989 to about 1994.
Right.
After El Toro, I was assigned to an instructor staff in Los Angeles, which they deal with the reserve units.
Right.
Drill, but there's always a permanent staff there.
Got you.
So I did that for a little bit, and then I transferred over to the recruiting station, Los Angeles. So I was in California for probably my whole career.
Oh, really?
Yeah. At the recruiting station, this was the recruiting station Los Angeles. We had about 100 recruiters that covered from all the way from Santa Barbara County to LA County. I wasn't a recruiter, but I was I was still administrative.
Right, right.
But I was the only female out of the 100 recruiters. So the recruiters would call me whenever they needed to go out and speak to young women, or they wanted to have a woman there,
Right.
So that people know that there are women in the Marine Corps.
Right.
So I wasn't functioning as a recruiter, but I would kind of help out, going to the schools and speaking with parents and different things like that.
Okay.
So after Los Angeles, then I went to Miramar, which is in San Diego County.
Okay.
And I got there in 1998 until I retired in 2002. And there I was with the 3rd Marine Aircraft Wing.
Gotcha.
There, during that time is when September 11th happened.
Yeah.
So I was at the very beginning of it.
Right.
We had units, we had about 12 squadrons. And one of the squadrons, we did have casualties. Well, we had several casualties, but one squadron we had, it was the refueler squadron.
Right.
And one of the refueler aircrafts, slammed into a mountain, and we had I think that was the first woman killed. She was a crew member, I believe,
Right.
on that aircraft. So my job as a personnel chief at the time, you're dealing with the casualty side of it, death benefits and things of that nature. So even though I wasn't involved in combat, you see the tail end of it,
Right.
dealing with the families.
Impact.
Right, right. The things that happen after all those things happen.
Right, right.
And so that's where I ended my career, right at 20 years.
Okay. All right. So besides the places that you mentioned, what other places did you travel while you were in the service?
While I was in the service, I played volleyball when I was stationed in Hawaii. So we traveled to Guam, we traveled to Iwakuni, Japan, which is mainland Japan. Just to play volleyball.
Right.
Other than that, as far as traveling, most of my traveling was done wherever I was stationed or just in the States.
What did you do for entertainment?
For entertainment, I mean, you hang out with your friends, your coworkers,
Right.
You know, just normal things that any other person would do for
Right.
entertainment.
Okay. So when you separated, what was that like? What was that feeling like when you were coming up on separation?
After 20 years in the military and, you know, joining at a young age,
Right.
I always tell people it feels like you're kind of institutionalized,
Right.
in that you're in a community of similar-minded, and so it's a bit of a culture shock, you know, especially if you don't stay in that, you know, vicinity. When I retired, I moved here to Florida because my family was not here. And Florida, you know, in this area, there are no bases, there are no commissaries, there's no exchange, there's no, you know, none of those resources. So,
Right.
it definitely was a culture shock that you go through.
Gotcha.
Right when you get out, you know.
Yeah.
Because you're so used to the other stuff, and then you come out, and it's not there.
Right.
So.
Did you use your GI Bill when you got out?
I did use...
What did you do immediately? And I wanted to ask you about the GI Bill.
When I moved here in Florida in August, and I started a master's program at Florida Atlantic.
So you finished your bachelor's while you were on active duty?
I finished my bachelor's. It took me 10 years. I finished at San Diego State. And when I moved here, I started right at...
What'd you major in?
Business. And so I just went right into a business master's program.
Got it.
At FAU. Fortunately, I was able to go to school full time. I did not have to work.
Right.
I had set it up financially so I could do that, so I can enjoy going to school and being a full-time student.
Right,
so
right.
I did that for about a little under 2 years. It took me to finish. After that, I looked, you know, you look for positions. I got a position with the Transportation Security Administration at the West Palm Beach Airport.
Oh, okay.
It was a secretary that I took, but I took it to kind of get my foot in the door.
Right.
And so I moved around from TSA. I was there for 3 years.
TSA.
Yeah, Transportation Security.
Got it.
The screeners.
Okay.
I was HR there. And then I ended up here at the VA.
Okay, how long have you been here?
I've been with the VA since 2008.
Okay.
I worked first here in Building 10, actually, as a veteran service rep.
Right.
And I wanted to get back into HR, so I transferred to Miami. And I commuted from Lake Worth to Miami for about 2.5 years. And then I just transferred up here last October.
Got you.
And I've been here ever since.
Okay, so you utilized your GI Bill.
Yes.
Okay, so you were never a prisoner of war or anything like that?
No.
All right, you have any service-related injuries?
Yes.
Do you belong to any veterans organizations? Like DAV?
DAV. Yeah, DAV.
Oh, you do? Okay. And you ever go to any reunions or anything?
I haven't.
Okay, and tell me about your awards and citations and medals. I know you have plenty.
I have plenty. I'm not going to remember them off the top of my head.
Just tell me about a few. I understand, I believe you.
I think the two main ones I can speak about, I have a Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal.
Okay.
Second award, I believe. And the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, probably a fourth award. And then just other various, you know, Good Conduct Medal and Sea Service Deployment ribbons.
Good conduct? You got a good
Everyone gets a Good Conduct Medal.
Okay.
Yeah, I just can't remember. It's been 10 years, and unless I look at it, I'll know what I have, but just to remember off the top of my head.
Okay. Did you experience or feel a lot of pressure or stress throughout your military career?
Me personally, just the normal stresses that go along with sometimes your job, you know, and dealing with casualties and, but nothing that's, you know, so unbearable that, you know, I couldn't handle it.
Right.
Just a normal normal stressors, I would say, and seeing, dealing with someone whose loved one is deceased.
Right.
But nothing.
Okay. Okay. What did you do for entertainment?
Exercise. The normal eating out, dancing, hanging with friends. Yeah, nothing really, I didn't do a lot of traveling. That's something I would like to do. But just normal movies, dinner,
What kept you from traveling?
Well, I was a single mom. And my son actually just graduated from high school.
Congratulations.
Thank you, in May. And so when you have those responsibilities, those things kind of get pushed to the back burner.
Right.
So now that he's graduated and gone, he went away to college.
So are you.
Yeah. Yeah. So now I can do those things.
Go to school, gotta go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what'd you do when you went on leave? Just came home and visited your family all of those years?
Pretty much.
You didn't take your son on any trips, or?
No, of course, yeah. He would always go with me.
Where'd you go?
We did a lot of local stuff in California. Disney, SeaWorld. There were so many things to do in California that we really didn't need to fly anywhere to go experience stuff. So a lot of things in California or New York when we were in New York.
Right. Okay. Tell me one or two of your most memorable experiences while you were in the service.
There's so many.
Give me a couple. Give me some. I got time. You got time.
I wish I knew these questions in advance.
I understand.
Most memorable. Well, the first one is boot camp. Just graduating from boot camp is very memorable because while you're in it, you don't think you're going to make it.
Every day I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's one of them. The second one, I think, that's memorable to me. We were stationed in Okinawa.
Yeah.
And it was my first Thanksgiving out of the country.
Right.
And we lived in the barracks, and this was our first Thanksgiving out of the country.
Right.
And so about 10 of us in the barracks got together and did Thanksgiving dinner, turkey and everything. And this was probably 1988.
Right.
And to this day, we are all still friends. There's about 10 of us.
Right.
That was memorable.
What was that you?
The way that we came together for this holiday.
Gotcha. So where'd you go?
This was in Okinawa. We just did it right there in the barracks.
And what'd you do?
Well, we did a turkey and the whole.
Had Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Great.
The whole Thanksgiving.
Gotcha.
Memorable. Wow. There's so many that you can't really pinpoint.
Give me some more. Don't be stingy.
My graduation from San Diego State was memorable because, like I said, it took me 10 years of taking 1 and 2 classes. I transferred to like 3 or 4 different schools.
Right.
That was very memorable. My retirement ceremony was memorable because they actually did a ceremony with 2 platoons and some of my friends that I've known for years were able to come and see the ceremony.
Wow. Okay.
So that was memorable. But other than that, it's all memorable because you take the good and the bad, and it really builds who you are. So
becomes a part of you.
Right.
And you become a part of it.
Right.
Okay. Did you keep a diary?
I wouldn't call it a diary. I keep maybe a journal.
Okay.
Because after a while you start getting forgetful, and you forgot what you did 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
So
Don't remind me.
Right.
Get it? Yeah.
I didn't keep, I didn't talk about feelings or any of that stuff, but I just jotted down what I did.
Right.
Or just something that so I can remember what I did on that specific day. So it wasn't really a diary, just more of a journal, I guess you could say.
Okay. Tell me, what did you think of your peers and and the officers throughout your career?
I think as with anything, you're not always gonna like your bosses. You're not gonna always like your coworkers.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you have a mission. And so what I really enjoyed about being a Marine is that you put all that aside for the sake of whatever we needed to do.
Okay.
I can't speak for any other branch, but I know that that's how it was in the Marine Corps. You knew what the mission was, and you did what your part was to get whatever needed to be done.
Okay.
So I never had any. I wouldn't say that I was ever discriminated against, based on gender or race or. Not that it doesn't exist. It does exist.
Right.
It just never happened with me.
Okay.
But I wouldn't tolerate it. So I don't know if maybe it was my personality that maybe did, I don't know. I don't know.
No, I understand.
I don't know.
And the way that you carried yourself.
Right.
I understand, believe me. Okay, let's see. When you separated, okay, you already told me, basically. I think you separated and then you took off and you went to school.
Yes.
You didn't have to work.
Right.
So you finished your master's degree.
Right.
Okay, so you made a lot of close friends?
In the Marine Corps?
In the service?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and have you managed those relationships, have you continued those relationships?
Yes, I have.
Excellent. To this day, I take it.
Yes.
And you joined a veterans organization, DAV.
Right.
Okay. Any reunions?
Not yet.
Okie doke. Okay. So I think we have your career under control or wraps. We're up to speed. You're here now. And did your military experience influence your thinking about war or about the military in general?
Having been in for so long and having been in since I was 18, I think a lot of the military is now ingrained in me and the things that I do. My son jokes with me and he tells me I'm what's the word? Where everything has to be in order and, lined up and...
I know that term. Is that anal or?
Not
anal?
it's
what's the other one?
It's a word. I can't.
Obsessive.
Obsessive compulsive. yes.
Disorder.
Right.
OCD.
OCD. That's the word. But it's just like I said. From coming in so young, it becomes a part of you.
Indoctrinated.
Right.
So you're
right.
regimented.
Not that I think it's a bad thing.
Right.
But I don't know if you need to
keep going.
And as far as my opinions on war, I mean, when you sign up for the military, you sign up knowing that there's always a possibility, and if that's what you're called to do, then that's what you do.
Right.
And end of story.
Okay. How did your service and experiences affect your life? We're getting right about down, wrapping it up anyway.
Okay. It's affected in a positive way.
Right.
I always tell people I never regret going into the military. I think it's made me who I am today. As far as it's built my character, it's built, it's given me mental strength and endurance and just the ability to deal with anything that maybe a normal person wouldn't be able to deal with.
Right.
So I would never trade it for the world. I mean, and some of the friendships, my first duty station in Hawaii in 1983, I'm still friends with my friends that I met you know, not all of them, of course, but my close friends, I'm still friends with them
Right.
to this day. So it's been a great experience. I would never trade it.
Gotcha. Okay, well, do you feel like we've left anything out? Have we covered everything, or what do you think?
No,
I think we did.
I think we have everything.
I want to thank you for your service, number one, and number two, I want to thank you for a great interview.
Thank you.
Okay?
Okay, thank you so much. I don't know how I looked, but
Great.